It is Tuesday, January 24, 2017, 6:58 p.m., and we will now begin the Successor Agency agenda meeting. Roll call.
Director Zarita.
Here.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Here.
Chairperson Brown.
Yes.
We have public comments.
We will now have public comments on agenda and non-agenda items. Mr. Robert Ray.
Thank you, Robert Ray Compton. I forgot to mention earlier, this Saturday, Clymore Avenue Block Club, 10 a.m. at Brill McDonald Park, and February 18 and February 25, meet and greet all of the candidates. There's so many, there's going to be a 2-week period, and that's going to be at 10 a.m. at Brill McDonald Park also. Okay, item 2, the fence around Dollar Height. I'm assuming we're going to replace that temporary chain link with the wrought iron fence all the way around? Okay. Also, I was at Dollar High last night for the Block Club Commission and found a couple issues. Number one, when I went to park, I have handicap parking. I could not find any handicap parking spaces in front of Dollar High. If there are one, I couldn't find it. Number two, when I went to open the door, I pushed the handicap button. Nothing happened. Pushed it again, nothing happened. Pulled on the door was locked. So handicap accessibility has to be there if the building is going to be open. So I need to look into that. And when I was leaving, I was driving down past all the bus stops. It is pitch black over there at night. There are no lights between Tamarind and Willowbrook, all along where the buses stop. Because if people are, have to walk that way to the buses or the trains or whatever, it is dark. So we need to address that. But this fence is long overdue, so yes.
Mr. Holyfield.
Again, good evening. One thing I really enjoyed hearing, and that's when the city manager and the mayor was talking about the safety. Seemed like to me we put a price on safety in a lot of times, and then we have to really bring these department heads together and clean up our city and make it safe. That's what, and it's an attitude. As a matter of fact, the attitude determines one's latitude. So what I'm saying is, for instance, there's a light on Greenleaf in Wilmington. We can't get any support with that. They talk about money. They talk about Oak Park. They talk about Central Avenue with a blinking light and so forth. It wasn't even on the agenda, but it's straightened out. My point is, when do you put a price on someone's life? Kids or property and the citizens and et cetera. And that's what's been happening with that light on Greenleaf and Wilmington. And we need to cut, we as a city and we as the government need to cut this kind of madness out. But they talk about $3 or $4 million taken from us one way or the other. They talk about a water tank that was suggested. It was on Dominguez Hills. They have a huge tank there. So it was suggested a number of years ago to put a tank in each district. And it started in the first district, by the way. So all I'm saying is millions of dollars being spent, and we can't get a light. I'd also like to say that we have a young man that's ill and in a hospital. His name is Mubarak. He did the paintings on the wall up as you come in here and outside, and then also in the city hall. He's sick and in the hospital, and he would like our prayers. Mohammed Mubarak. So I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that one. So really, it's just about working together. And there was a controller that was going to sit right there next to the treasurer, by the way, a number of years ago, and then we would have had the reports. We never would have got into this situation. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Holyfield. Mr. David Irons.
David Irons, resident of Compton. Ms. Zarit, actually, Muhammad Mubarak is one of my best friends. I didn't know that. He didn't call me probably because he was in the hospital. Anyway, you say you the mosquito thing. My father caught malaria during World War II. And some doctor said the cure for mosquito is quinine. Now this doctor saw the people that's in the indigenous people eating quinine. So he think he found the cure for malaria. The people that lived there ate quinine bark as a staple. But brother, hey man, I didn't know my partner was in the hospital. I mean, I'm really upset with that because that guy is my friend. I mean, it's serious. That's some serious pain. I don't even know what else to say. But check out some of the stuff. Do research on anything you talk about. Do research on marijuana. I know a lot of people don't like to read. They lazy, and lawyers ain't going to tell you nothing unless you give them a retainer. Do some research on anything you talk about, please. There's this thing called blue gold. It talks about water. You say you're doing reclaiming water? Hey, you know where that water coming from? That porta potty at Gonzales Park. I'm just telling you the truth. I read everything. I read. When somebody bring up a subject, I read. Do your research. And I gave you a book, 5 Negro Presidents. Let your daughter read it.
Thank you, Mr. Irons.
Oh, thank you for thanking me.
You're welcome.
Hey, did you look up?
Mr. Irons, Mr. Irons.
Yeah, what that thing called TAC for that? I don't want to get rushed off,
Okay,
but
I'll talk to you after this.
Did you look it up?
I'll talk to you after this. Thank you, sir. Ms. Kelly?
Does my heart good to see that you're finally going to take down that junk around Dollar Hyde Center. I tried to get the other ones to do it, but they never would. I even posted it on Facebook, showed how filthy it is around that area too, where that bus station is. You have to realize too that the people who ride the trains and buses over there park in Dollar Hyde's parking lot, which is a no-no for the city's liability, I would think. It is so sad. And Mr. City Manager, I wish you would just drive from Compton Boulevard and Burris to Rosecrans. It is so sad. Also on Acacia, between Alondra and it'll dead end at the Compton Creek, the canal. Another one is on, I think it's Grandy, off of 137th or something. You cannot dodge those potholes. It's ridiculous. The homeless are a topic of some of the community activists on Facebook. And it's being seen all over this country because I have friends who are tagged in those posts. They said they came to the city for help and did not receive any help. But then how many years have I been trying to tell you guys about trying to open a warehouse or something for the homeless? And I've told you there are people too. I've talked to them. My neighbors and I have taken blankets. A lady used to come over here to the courthouse and feed. These are human beings. Please, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Boone?
Lynn Boone, City of Compton. I hope we can get an update on the resolution that was voted on last year in regards to a company that this council signed with on the signs that were going to be put in the city of Compton. They had a schedule, and we paid for it. There was also a resolution that was signed for, to a company that was supposed to clean out the sewer drains. They were supposed to come back. They had a camera that they were going to take pictures before and after. And if you notice over the weekends, there was a lot of water, and there was water up on people's yards. And this company never came back, and we paid them. The other thing that I wanted to state was that maybe somebody can collect our $3 million from Danny Bakewell, since $3 million seems to be choking people up here. You know, and there's other monies out here that needs to be collected on as well. And I want to thank Ms. Emma Sharif for your comment, because we do appreciate it. And there does need to be more discussion up here from the council in regards to what needs to be done out here within the city. And I guess that's about, oh, and Mr. Sanders, I want to say that we do appreciate you. Keep your head up. It's going to be all right. Thank you. Oh, and one other thing. I see Mr. Williams here sitting in the crowd. I don't know what the vulture is sitting around for, but hopefully not to pick us again, because I think you got enough money from us the last time. You know, please go away. Thank you.
Bishop Guillory.
Mr. Williams, on behalf of the residents of Compton, I apologize because you have came to this city with integrity and you've given information that would have taken us a long time to be able to differentiate. And what I appreciate is that even if you don't agree, you present the council with the facts. So thank you very much. We appreciate you. Madam Mayor and City Council, you know, I hate election time. But what I hate more than anything is that people just don't accept the facts. The facts is that there will be an election. The facts is, Mr. Rita, just like when they tried to get you out, sometimes the people say, no, we know who you are. Take that little recall and skip it on and put it back where it needs to go. You know, it's interesting that most people say as if they're talking to God. God told me to run. I'm running because God told me to run. Well, God forgives a lot of sins. But one of the things that I have a problem with, Mr. Rambo, is that we keep talking about the same problems. We get city manager after city manager after city manager. We talk about the problems. The problems are the same potholes that was there. We talk about the same dirt that was there. But these people that are talking the most, who want to sit up there, don't do anything to change it. And anytime somebody comes to help, they jump in and attack them. So I know that they know that there's a whole bunch of citizens that are at home watching, and those are the ones that always stamp their, you know, the city clerk stamp certified. They're the ones that stamp denied. So I can't wait for this election to be over so everybody can take their little 200 votes, their little 100 votes, and go home and realize that the people don't want them. Keep your head up, Brother Rambo. God got your back. See y'all later.
So moved.
Second.
Amendments or discussion? Roll call?
Director Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Chairperson Brown.
Yes.
Item number 2 under new business is a resolution of the Successor Agency to the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Compton authorizing the Executive Director to enter into a contract with and establish a purchase order for CVAC Facility Services, Inc. to install wrought iron fencing along the parameters of Dollar High Center, Community Center in the amount of $68,446.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Director Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Chairperson Brown.
Yes.
Mayor, Director's comments.
Director Zarita?
Yes, Mayor, if I could just, Madam Chair, if I could just address two issues, because when we change management, sometimes things fall in the cracks. So two things I want to just put on your plate is when we talked about streetlights, Captain Thatcher or somebody from the department did a survey of El Segundo and Central with the amount of accidents that had occurred there, and we have the information, and we had some discussion of getting a turning signal there. So I just want to make sure that that continues to be worked on. And then also, I have some concerns about the street light. I talked to the city manager over the weekend. We were at a few block club meetings, and the street light, the signal light at Sam Littleton or 135th, I still call it 135th, but it's actually Sam Littleton and Central. Is something not right with that light? I think it may be the location, or it's just not, when you're heading southbound on Central, if that light at 135th Sam Littleton catches you, you really don't know exactly where to stop. I think it needs to be reevaluated just to make sure, and we have had a couple of accidents there since that light has gone up. And that's it. Just want to remind everybody of my town hall meeting, February 16th at 6 p.m. at the Neighborhood Housing Service Building right in front of Gonzalez Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Director McCoy?
Yes. Mr. Rambo, also what Mr. Hollyfield was talking about is I had requested a left-hand turn signal on Wilmington and Greenleaf, and there's already done a traffic study and all of that, and we've made some adjustments, or we're in the process of making adjustments to lengthen the amount of time between the turn signal until we can come back with a resolution to the left-hand turn signal. So I want to make sure that that has been done and that we can identify, I know we have to identify funds, so if there are funds available to do that right now, I would like for us to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Sharif?
Thank you, Mayor Brown. I would like the Compton Creek to make sure that someone is monitoring the creek to make sure that the water is flowing, because the last time we had a big rain, the water was not flowing, and it took a lot for them to go to get pipes and everything to unplug it. So I hope someone is monitoring that to make sure that that's happening. We don't want the water to be stagnated there.
Thank you. May we have a
Madam
motion?
Mayor,
Oh,
can I
yes,
just say
ma'am.
one thing? I am in the process of reactivating the Compton Creek Task Force. Mr. Hunt is working on that with me, and so we can monitor it, but again, we can't really touch the creek because it's a protected environment, so we have to have these agencies come in and do so. And so we just need to, in our meeting, we will reach out to them to make sure that somebody is monitoring it. So, thank you.
Thank you. May we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Director Zarita?
Yes.
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 Chairperson Brown?
Yes.